Hello, everybody. Both of you. So, my name is Jason, artist, writer, letterer, inker, editor, designer, blah, 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 of Star Wars The Dark Hunter, the free Star Wars comic on Webtoons. Right now, links are at the bottom. I don't know if you can click on it. I've been getting these for Christmas. Well, I decided to get me these comic stacks because, I haven't grown out of comic books yet, I guess. So, if anybody gets these, you pay like $20, $30 a month, and you get a bunch of comics that someone else curates. They send them to you, and just whatever. It's like a surprise every month. It's kind of cool. This is my second box. So what I'm thinking is there's a lot of number ones in all these, which I'm glad because I go to the comic book store every once a month or so. And if I find something that looks cool, I'll buy it. But then it's like number 3 or number 7, number 8. Or you're going to have like 4-issue story arcs, like 20 through 23 is this one story arc, and you can't find 21 or 22. They got 50 of number 23 there. So I guess you get the little nudge to see if you want to continue on reading that series. So they say that number ones sell better in the comic stores anyway. Yep, saves me a little trip, and then I get more variety. So once a month, I'll just open up my stack and I'll share what I think. So first one, Nebula. So Nebula, this is not the Nebula from the movies. This is a different Nebula. It's the same character, yes, but it's not like you're used to. So if you're gonna see Endgame and come here and this is Nebula, they always have this pose here like the movie when she's like all jacked up and hooked up to the wall and everything. This is slightly different, okay? So anyways, in this one, she's just regular old Nebula. MCU doesn't exist. So there's this cool space station. She shows up because there's a scientist guy in here. He's like the guy from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the hooves, okay? And here's our awesome Nebula hero threatening the kid with danger. And this guy has invented some kind of device that tells the future, kind of. It gives the user probability of outcomes in any conflict. So obviously Nebula as a warrior wants this. So she tells this guy, hey, I put a bomb inside your daughter's head. If anything happens to me, she's going to blow up. Like in Mission Impossible 3, her eyeball just going to shoot to the right and she'll be dead. So she gets in the chair. Here, put that technology in me. I want it, or your daughter's dead. Great hero, right? So he puts it in her, and then, no, behold, there's another guy that knows about this technology. Robo-Man guy. Cool picture. I like that. Robo-Man guy comes in. I'm going to destroy that technology because it shouldn't be had. But she already has it in her, and she thinks it's going to be some cool windfall, help her win all these battles. She discovers that all this information hits her while she's in the middle of a conflict. So if she does this, he does that, and she loses. If she does this, he does that, she gets shot in the head, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, they fight. This thing is overloading her with information. She is able to win via luck. I don't know how this happens. This guy is standing under these pipes. And then he's monologuing. And then she says, okay. And then these pipes fall on the guy. I don't know what happened. The thing you put in her head is just messing with her. She's like, oh, she's able to shoot this guy. But one of the non-hoofed dudes from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe has a little gun. Boom. And she crashes, and then the cliffhanger is, what's your name? I don't remember. So that's the cliffhanger for the next issue. And so there's kind of a nutshell of this whole thing. Cool book. Don't know if I'm really totally enthralled. She's got this tech in her head that's going to predict the future or give her all these probabilities of outcomes in conflict, but she doesn't know who she is or what her mission is. So Nebula could be like the Born Identity. Nebula. This kind of kitty artwork. I mean, it's good. I'm not complaining. More power to you. Who's this guy? Claire Rowe. Alright, so it's not that bad art, but just one thing I thought was kind of funny. I like these graphic overlays, a little texture that gives a little character, but the backgrounds are just kind of just thrown in there. Like, yes, look at that. To that planet. It's like she used a chisel tip Sharpie marker. It looks like from space, the entire planet is one entire cliff continent, and the oceans are like a mile down. Yeah, you're supposed to just care about this. So the backgrounds, you know, whatever. And with Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff, I'm sure you have that kind of room to just make up weird, funky, simplistic things, and that's what she does. And, I got the overlays, the digital overlays on stuff to make it very textured. But I was thinking about this too, the little hangar bay. Yeah. Meh. But you know, it's just a small panel you just kind of flip through. Comics are awesome, but debating if it's like even worthwhile to do all this detail. But I mean, this looks cool, but people just flip through it like it's nothing. So this also confirms, I think, I'm starting to believe the flood the shelves strategy. I mean, every minor character is going to have their own book, right? The Rat Avenger from Endgame is going to have his own book pretty soon. So, all right, next, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I will admit, when I got this, I looked at the end, and I saw this page here. I'm like, okay, there's a little explanation. Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes are on a mission to identify and stop the next leader of Hydra. So to do so, they've got to make their way from one end of a high-speed train to the other. The catch, every carriage is filled with assassins. 8 carriages, 8 kinds of a killer, all aboard. Now that interests me. That's kind of cool. That's like that Bruce Lee movie where he goes from level to level on the pagoda, and each level has a different fight he has to get into, and the styles change radically until at the top he's fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's kind of a cool idea. I like it. This book has none of that in it. I like how they draw him though. He looks kind of like the one dude from the movies. Got that cool like kind of surfer, kind of homeless hairdo going on. Okay, so these guys break in. He gets in this huge gunfight, and the cat stays with him the whole entire time. It looks like. I don't see the cat here. The cat's here. Oh, the cat's right there. But there's no cat. Then at the end, the cat's on his shoulder again. All right. This is basically the scene from Civil War when he's going down the steps, beating up nameless, faceless guys in SWAT armor. He's actually killing people here. Captain America would be so upset. Sam Wilson, I forgot that the comic book version of this guy, he's got an empathic link with actual birds. It's kind of stylized artwork. I like that. I don't mind it at all. I like how they drew, like I said, this guy. That guy's name, Bucky Barnes. Not so much the Sam Wilson guy. I wish they made him look more like Anthony Mackie. They have a bigger forehead. Anyways, they discover some massive murder. And Sam Wilson's looking for this girl. Bucky Barnes is trying to find out who did the murder. They team up. They go find the girl. They talk to her. She's probably involved, but she vomits, so I guess she's not involved. She doesn't know she stayed sick. She's the only survivor. But then, like, they're talking to her. Some dude shows up, and he's like some plain-looking weirdo. I mean, they could have made up a better costume, maybe. He's got beads on his wrists. Maybe those are important. But Todd the yuppie kid, high school kid, whoops up on the guy with the super soldier serum and a metal arm, and Sam Wilson, the combat veteran, who used to be Captain America too. Okay, so and he got this grin on his face the whole time, and he takes a couple hits here and there, but nothing major. He's so fast. I think it's supposed to be a headbutt, but he just beats the guys up. He says, "They call me the Natural." Maybe he's made of entirely plant-based products. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is an anti-steroids comic book. No steroids, kids. Steroids are bad. Be natural instead, and you can beat up the Winter Soldier and Falcon. So anyways, he beats him up, and then he challenges to come find him on the train. So, yeah, this was kind of weird. That was just weird. Not even a cool, like, Hydra outfit or anything. Just some guy dressed like he's hanging out at Starbucks. Sam meets Converse. Yeah, the guy's wearing Converse. Doesn't say Converse on there, but those are the Chucks, baby. Alright, so anyways, that was that one. I'll wait till it comes free on Comixology. I may pick up the entire collected edition digital one day. Okay, so this is the next one that was in there, On the Stump. This, I don't know if you can tell, but this is kind of a political comic. Can you tell? The White House blowing up. A guy with red, white, and blue face, and he's looks like a bad guy. These guys here fighting. These kind of weirdo women here. She's got a gun. She's tough chick. I don't know. Every time you got the White House blowing up on the front, red, white, and blue. This is a political comic. So, On the Stump refers to this Washington, D.C. new tradition, and where they get this stump of wood, I guess. I don't know what that really represents, but politicians fight and battle in real combat, MMA style, bare fist, knock down, drag out, bleed out, knock them out combat in order to get their legislation moved. Here are the story of Senator Jack Hammer. He's getting whooped up on, owned by some other guy, Sweet Smell Shaw, another senator, and he's pounding him, but then he decides to just kick his butt, and so he does, and the guy's like, I'm going to kill you. And there's all kinds of bad words, so you know it's relevant. Yeah, so anyways, and these girls are assassin girls, and I guess the fight was supposed to be fixed, but he decided to unfix it by winning, and so now he's in trouble. The guy who paid him to fix the fight is in trouble. Everyone's in trouble, right? So then this girl comes, and she's a strong woman. She beats him up. Great, love it. I weigh 1/3 of what you weigh, but she's gonna knock him down, make him say, all right, sorry. I mean, huh. And so anyways, they're friends now. They're discussing the fight, how it was fixed, and what's going on. There's some kind of conspiracy. Then a white guy stabs him, and he's got some flag colors on his face. They should write the hospital on top of that building so we know where they're at. Anyways, and this guy goes to oppress the media. And these beta males hear the media, but one of them actually has some guts, and he stands up to him. And he's, I'm going home. I got my pineapple shirt on and a Spider-Man t-shirt and my gut hanging out. Super violent. Crazy violence, decapitation, blood splattering everywhere. And eventually, Jack Hammer and the chick with the gun track down the flag face guy, stab him, and says, we got some questions to ask you. So that's the cliffhanger. So it's not like it's hidden political agenda. It's just right here in your face. Just read this whole section here, and that's, whatever, cool, do what you want. But this brings me to my thesis statement for this video. Comics aren't made for kids anymore. Like, none of this stuff really is made for kids. I mean, I go and take my kids to the comic book store, and there's all these bright, colory, covers lining the shelves, and they don't want any of them. I'll go in there, I'll pick a couple DC things, something cool from Deadpool's out, if there's something I'm actually looking for that has an artist that I want to see. I'll pay about $20 and get a handful of comics, and none of them are for the kids. They don't want anything. When I first started taking them there, these boys would say, my youngest son would be like, I want this My Little Pony. And I'd be like, what? Look, you got Fantastic Four. Got all this other stuff. I'll buy them like Scooby-Doo or Ren and Stimpy or something funny. They didn't look at any of this superhero stuff. None of this. Like, they're not interested. A little girl, don't care about Nebula. Boys, don't care about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nebula, who cares? On the Stump, it's not even directed at them. Kids don't care about this stuff. I wouldn't give my kids that anyway. It's totally R-rated. Wicked violence. I mean, whoever's got these political viewpoints is really hateful. I mean, how else would you describe this decapitation? This is how we're supposed to handle our political differences here. Is this the utopia we want? Okay. Anyways, that being said, this book was written for young adults. We got, obviously, everyone's got these headphones. He's obviously young. She's young. You know, the loners. I don't want to say hate. I just don't like. You can tell this was something they could put on like the Disney Channel or one of these young kid shows, like their junior high school. There's no parents in any of these shows. There's no parents in here. You've got this kid who's got this YouTube channel and it's all political oriented. He's got this it's an alias, and then you got the bully that's picking on him. You know, Samuel. There's 3 guys named Samuel. One's a girl. Samantha, she's just a random lonely girl. They're just kind of all downtrodden. There's Samir, I guess he's what would that be? Indian, East Indian kid. Then this part I didn't even read through. The first time I flipped through it, I wasn't sure what was going on. I totally missed this part, but come across this Christmas ornament stuck to a tree with whale snot, and it gives them weird powers. Their eyes go white, and then they have this like telepathic link. I never saw this panel until just now, or 5 minutes ago when I was flipping through all these. So I didn't read it, I'll be honest, I didn't read this part. But they can see inside each other's head and all that's going on, all the grief they've gone through, what makes them who they are. And so they have this telepathic link where they're in each other's head now. They can talk. Even though they're different classes, different parts of the school, they can talk to each other. They can see through each other's head. For some reason, Samir tells the bully about the thing in the woods. So they go back to the woods to see if they can just get rid of their powers or find out what's going on. But then the bully shows up. Hey, man, what's this? I'm going to start smacking this. And he gets about to shank this kid. And then the Christmas ornament stuck to the tree with whale snot comes alive. Transforms him into like this weird little, I don't know, like Eve from WALL-E, but with cat legs. But that little symbol, that aw, he says awesome. In the back, the symbol aw is on the back. Oh, man. Oh, that was weird. It's just not my thing. Young adults is assuming that your kid is this loner that just wants to be special, I guess. I don't get it. This one, I pulled this out, flipped through it, and I said, this is nothing that I want to read. Now a sci-fi original series. So, yeah, hey. That's why I don't have TV, folks. All right. The man who effed up time. He's got the F word. So it's cool, right? Bleep. The bleep. Built into the title. That's a new thing. A lot of books have that built into the title. It's like, well, is it supposed to be funny? Avant-garde? Ruthless? Shocking? It's just shock value. If you've got something to say, you shouldn't need the bleeps to say it. Okay, so anyways, it starts off with kind of one of these 80s, 90s movies where he's running from something. Oh, and then the camera pauses and it's like, and that was me. And how did I get here? And the music plays and stuff. Let's go back to, whatever. So anyways, he's running. It's kind of weird. We're into this time when everyone dresses like Abraham Lincoln, and women and these people wear these Viking helmets. And there's dinosaurs. And Abraham Lincoln rules the world, I guess. and he's like a dictator. So, okay, kind of funny. Then we go back to how it all happened, and then he's like a janitor at a science lab, but it was some of his ideas, but he couldn't get the money to stay in school, and they stole his ideas and made a time machine travel thing. So they go back in time, looks like they get stuff from prehistory, and are able to bring it back to modern day, and they're all excited. Check this out. This doesn't even exist anymore. So here's the jerk who stole his ideas or something, and just So anyways, he gets a visit, and it's from himself, from the future, I'm assuming. And he says, hey, go back and do these 3 things. So they show him going to work, going to the time machine, going back in time. It's like a week or something, doing these 3 things. And when he comes back out of it, then he's here. He's all messed up here. The artwork's cool. It's almost like it reminds me kind of like a Mike Judge kind of stuff. Beavis and Butthead-ish. It's kind of weird. But there's only varying line thickness. There's only one size Sharpie that you marker or whatever. It's cool. But there's that symbol on that guy. Him from the future has that symbol, the clock with the wings. I went through this whole book and I couldn't find that symbol anywhere else. So he's probably, I guess, not on that guy. There's no symbols on that guy. His future, blah, 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 laboratory place. They just have like the techie hexagon kind of little thing. And there's nothing like that in the Abraham Lincoln Egypt verse. So, I don't know. Sorry, my little camera's having a hard time tracking all my random movements. It's a thick book. Feels higher quality than your normal comic book. Like this is more of a cardstock paper. And bunch of ads in the back, so it feels thicker than the rest of them. But it just looks interesting. But I don't know if I'm interested. This is what I'm talking about, all right? So yeah, I'm kind of a Star Wars nerd, but again, possibly comics aren't made for kids anymore. That's why all their Star Wars stuff they're doing now centers around the big 3, Leia, Luke, and Han. That's how Timothy Zahn said he would write books. That's how he cared about those 3 characters. And of course, Darth Vader, and a smattering of other ones. I think is that Dr. Aphra? I'm not sure. Whatever, she's in there. They got that new character. But other than that, all the comics, they're labeled Star Wars. They're about Luke, Han, and Leia. And I noticed they get some. It's almost as if they trace from panels right out of the movies. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, you could tell. You know what scene it comes from. You see this, like, you know that comes. You know where that's at in the movies. Dr. Aphra, she looks like the girl that was Kate from NCIS. Remember, she was in the first 2 seasons and she got shot in the head. You can tell where these come from. It's totally from Empire Strikes Back. She's got that hairdo. You know why? No, I'll never join you. Yeah, I'm for nostalgia, but you don't need to just like trace stuff. This is totally from when he's on Dagobah. That pose right there. They have like a mashup of Admiral Akbar and General Grievous. A little strange. Governor Tarkin. That's her. I know that scene. Anyways, but I like stuff like this, man. Look at that. It's a good combo of digital, photoreal stuff. I like the proportions and the poses, the costumes, the use of black right there. That's cool. So I'm going to read this and probably do a review on the story. They got awesome digital 3D models, I think, of these ships that they trace or they just drop in here. It looks cool. This looks really cool. The whole book's got this kind of like maybe 3-4 tones in a panel. Maybe that's what's different about it. Like each page has its own palette, and it's just real simple. It's not complicated. It's moody. It's got the mood. That's my take on this comic stack. I get them once a month. I might just do a video once a month. And if you care, tune in, subscribe, and by all means, please check out Star Wars: The Dark Hunter on Webtoons. It's my own personal creation, and it's totally free. I'm not charging any money for it. Better than fan fiction, but basically, it's fan fiction. Oh yeah, one more thing. For those of you who faithfully watch till the end, first come, first serve. Dun, dun, dun. I've got the physical book, especially if I ain't interested too much in more, I'll let you have the digital code. Just, you know, first come, first serve, don't whine and complain. Maybe this is illegal, I'm not sure. But till someone yells at me, or you digital hate mail, whatever. Have a good time, thank you very much. Talk to you later.